Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you all so very much for joining us for the South Fulton Chambers Fast Break. I am Kathy Hood, and I am VP of Marketing and Communications. And guys, you know what? I just want to say, look, Diane, you know how transparent and crazy I am, right? So I just want to say, I don't know what I was thinking when I agreed to 7:30 in the morning, right?
Yes. Me either.
Okay. And then we look, Diane, and then you agreed. I'm like, oh Lord, she done said yes. I'm like, okay, all right. But guys,
Yes.
this is going to be exactly what it is, a fast break. We decided to come up with this for a morning event for us. You know, I'm sure everybody was just zoomed out, you know, squared out. And then, you know, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, then we just got lazier and lazier because the time got later and later. No, so everybody's getting ready to head back to work. And, you know, what better time than to start practicing right now, getting up first thing in the morning, you know, guys, and you know, getting your day started with a quick break fast. But we said, no, we're going to do a fast break. So we're just going to provide you guys with a great motivator that can get you going, to give you some great nuggets and some great, you know, expertise and advice on, you know, doing business. And so we just wanted to give you something real quick to get you going, to give you a quick snack in the morning, you know, with your breakfast, along with your juice and coffee. Have my coffee.
That's your coffee.
Now the only thing missing is a chicken biscuit from Chick-fil-A. Okay. That's the only thing that's missing from my breakfast right now. Yeah. So guys, I just want to say welcome again. And I want to have our fearless leader, Ms. Diane Matthews, the president and CEO of the South Fulton Chamber, to join us this morning. Thank you, Diane. Good morning.
Good morning, Kathy. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I can't believe that I'm as wide awake as I am, but I am for this fast break. So this is so exciting. The South Fulton Chamber of Commerce is just thrilled with the events that our VP of Marketing comes up with, Miss Kathy Hood over here, even if it means we have to get up at dawn to do it.
At dawn!
But we're thrilled to have you guys with us. For any of you that are new to the Chamber and coming to our events, just know that we try to give you all the information that you need for every opportunity that's going to help your business. And so what better way to do that than to have, instead of breakfast, have a fast break so that you can get good information that way and it doesn't take up most of your day or anything. So on behalf of our board of directors, our marketing team, Kathy Hood, Dr. Lisa Richardson, and all of our chamber members, we just say welcome this morning and sit back and enjoy.
Awesome. Look, so get your, I like that. So we give them a little something for a fast break, and it'll be just enough, you know, especially for creatives. A split little second or just a little nugget of something to get our juices to flowing first thing in the morning, in that creative space. So next we're going to bring on
Michelle Taylor Willis. Yes. We have Michelle Taylor Willis, who is our VP of Film and Entertainment, board member extraordinaire. And, you know, most of you probably already know her, but for any of you that don't, be prepared because she's a pistol. So
she's a good dose of whatever you need, a good dose of fire for the first thing in the morning. I'm telling you.
Right. Come on, bring that caffeine in the coffee. Exactly. So let's see. I'm trying to see if Michelle is back on yet or not. Not sure.
So Dr. Lisa, bring her back on. So kudos.
Yes.
Kudos to Dr. Lisa. Thank you, Dr. Lisa.
Oh, she's here.
Lisa for making all of this happen for us. Hey, Kathy.
How are you?
We're
Diane
good.
just
You
called
heard
you
me,
our
Jack.
caffeine in our coffee.
Yeah,
I
you
heard her. I was like, ooh, golly, am I speaking or is Dr. Venn speaking? Who's giving the shot today?
Okay.
Oh, I like that. I like that. So y'all know
That's
you know
good.
I do a play on words.
That's
So
good.
yeah, that's gonna be in the going out.
Well, yeah, I'm really introduce Dr. Venn and thank you, Kathy and Diane, for doing this. And I think you're right. I don't know what you were thinking when you said 7:30 in the morning. I was like, yeah, that's great, Kathy.
I actually think it was your idea, Michelle.
Are you sure?
I think so. I think the time was your idea.
Oof.
Because you're that one that get up and go running across the country. What?
Oh,
5
yeah.
6 o'clock. No, I would have never, ever, ever suggested 7:30. Okay, let me just put that out there.
Like, we got to get the people going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh gosh. Well, if that was my idea, then that was one of the worst ideas I've ever had in my life. Excuse me. That was crazy. But I really am excited about this because I think, and for those of you who are watching, thank you so much for coming in. It is going to be a great way for you to use the first few minutes of your morning. And here's why. The reason behind this series is about really entrepreneurship and leveling up and scaling up. And I shared a statistic with Diane and with Kathy a few weeks ago that I got from the National Black MBA Association. It basically was like 90% of Black-owned businesses are solopreneurs. And, the times that we're in right now, we're talking about, excuse me, whether you're Black or white, that race is really at the forefront of most things right now. And, it's about businesses being able to control the dollar, communities being able to control the dollar, and being able to grow. And the only way that you can really have any kind of influence or impact, or one of the ways, is if you have enough money to be able to control what needs to be controlled. And Black businesses aren't always in that position. And it's because a lot of times we are, one person organizations. But this isn't just a Black business thing. This is a total business thing, right? For anybody who wants to be in a position to not have to do everything in their business, right? A lot of times when we start, we end up being the marketing person and the janitor and the financial guy and the social media person. But business, enterprises weren't designed to be run always by one person. And if you really want to have and really want to grow your business, you have to position yourself to scale. And so that's why we invited Dr. Venn in today to talk to us about what does scaling look like? Because most businesses start as one person, but they don't have to end there. And I think a lot of times as business owners, we're just not intentional about how we position ourselves and poise our businesses for that growth. So we end up being that one person the whole time. Now, if you want to be that person, that's absolutely fine. I'm not saying that you have to scale, but oftentimes we want to, and we just don't know exactly how to do it and what that looks like. Dr. Venn has done a fantastic job of it. He is an orthodontist. He's board certified orthodontist. And he's an entrepreneur, and he's got 3 practices, right? And they're all founded and headquartered right here in SoFu in South Fulton County. He has figured out a way, because when he started, it was just him and one other part-time person. And that's only because he had to have somebody help get him in those people's mouths. He couldn't do it. But if he could have, it probably would have been just him. And over the last several years now, he has several staff members. He's running a profitable business, even through the pandemic. He advertises, he markets, and he has invested back into his business to where he has intentionally poised himself for growth. He owns his own building now. So he is really the model of what good scaling looks like. And that's why we wanted to bring him in today. He attended Meharry Medical College. He's a graduate of Howard University. He loves Atlanta, right? He loves Atlanta. And he opened his first practice in 2008, the second and third, 2012, 2013. So, and he has just been a model, like I said, of what good business, scalable business looks like. He lives in Smyrna now, but all of his, his business is in Sofu, which I love. And in his spare time, he loves being with his kids. He likes sports. He likes to cycle and ride and scuba dive, a whole bunch of stuff a lot of us don't know anything about. But it's another reason why he truly is remarkable. And I'm excited to introduce to you right now, Dr. Leroy Venn.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm saying, guys, this fast break, we got to get it in and get him going. So you can take us down, Dr. Lisa, and give Dr. Venn the stage.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak to the chamber. This has definitely been an honor I've been looking forward to. First, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. Well, thank you for the wonderful introduction. Again, I love the mission here of, in part having business leaders. I'm not sure if I'm a leader, but having business leaders and business owners come together as a think tank to, impart knowledge and pluck pearls from one another. So I love the mission here. A little bit about myself, as Michelle said earlier, I'm a native of Atlanta. I attended Lakeside High School. I grew up in Decatur, specifically. I've been a lifelong athlete. I played football at Furman University, then went on to dental school at Meharry, and then my orthodontic residency at Howard University, and then came back home in 2005. In 2005, I worked for one of the largest minority-owned orthodontic groups in the city, in the state, and started that process of learning about running a business by default by just being in the kitchen. So today, Michelle asked me to speak on scaling, and as a business owner, a lot of times you kind of get lost in the weeds of the day-to-day and trying to wear a bunch of hats and doing a bit of everything. So I never really looked at or appreciated the fact that I've scaled. And honestly, the more I think about it, and as I was preparing for today's speak, I really had to reflect on the scaling of my business. And one thing I realized that scaling is a constant process. So from the time of the inception of your business, you are scaling every second, like the clock is ticking until however big your business gets. In preparation for this speak, again, I thought about a book I wanted to read, and I read as an audiobook or listened to a book named 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, but it's a book about entrepreneurship. It's a book about perspective. It's a book about chronicling the habits and the consistent tenets that entrepreneurs and owners of large, like the mega businesses of the world that we hear about on the internet and social media, but they chronicled all the commonalities between them all. So I'm going to do a hybrid of plucking from that model of 0 to 1, and I'll talk today about 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and then 2 and beyond, and I'll explain those as I go. And then another, I'd say, comedic thing I'll input is the N word. So I'm sure that wakes some folks up and perks up some ears, but we'll talk about the N word. All right, so 0 to 1. 0 to 1 is the most important scale, and I really think that's more than half of scaling up. 0 to 1, in my mind, is you identifying your passion, identifying what you are unique, how you are unique, and what you can bring to a market. So that can be, a myriad of different things. So And I'm just a firm believer. Everybody has a business of some sort in them. Some stuff sounds really technical, and some stuff sounds, it's, I don't know, they have someone can sing or whatever talent they have. Everybody has some talent, I believe, that can be a business. It might not be $1 billion business, but it's not about setting up $1 billion businesses. The 0 to 1 is about the mindset, the confidence, and establishing the passion. And that's the biggest scale that matters. It can't be someone else's mission. I mean, if you think about it, we're all educated roughly. I'm a public school grad. We're all educated in roughly the same school, or we're reading the same books. 1 + 1 is 2 for all of us. Water is H2O. I mean, all these are common things that all of us have learned through school, and even, beyond into post-grad. We're sitting in classes full of other people that have learned the same knowledge. So where did the innovation and entrepreneurship come from? It came from passion. It came from your ability to digest the information that you've learned through the years in your own unique way. And no one else can do it the way you can do it. I don't care how astute someone speaks, or astute someone seems, or how expensive their lifestyle seems. No one can do it like you. And that it's different for everybody. So again, just emphasizing that, 0 to 1 is the biggest leap in business and entrepreneurship. You have to set yourself apart. You have to formulate and have a vision and have, forecasting of an identification of your market. So those to me, that's the very, very most important part. Now, in the book 0 to 1, they recommended or noticed that most successful businesses, the founder took either no compensation or no greater compensation than their employees. And I roundly disagree with that. You have to keep the lights on. And I think that you going to work, not compensated, that can change your spirit. And you need to go to work with some spirit, because you're selling yourself. Even if it's a product or a service, you're selling yourself and the energy that you come to the table with. So I think some creature comforts are needed for that. So cover your bases in that end. But at the same time, the lesson is, don't be so involved in trying to take all the cash flow out of your business, because that will hamstring the next scale that you can reach in your business. So be mindful of how much you're spending in the very beginning. And everybody should understand that. The next leap, or the next scale, is what I'll call forgive me, let me digress. The N word. So I'll give you an N word with each scale. So the N word with 0 to 1 is the word no. I think we're bombarded with outcomes, with social media, with the internet. We're seeing the end results of people's businesses that they've worked hard for. So the world will give you a lot of negativity, pessimism, explain to you every reason why your business won't work. And that is not, most likely is not your reality. That is someone else's assessment of what is going on in their life, and them applying their shortcomings to your situation. So that's irrelevant. So the first N word that we have to get out of the way is the word no. Knowing how to use the word no. Maybe there's some opportunities you shouldn't take, and recognize that, hey, that's not my passion. I'm a 6 foot tall gentleman, and some folks might think, well, I should be a professional athlete. Maybe to the college level, but not to the professional level. So there's a no there. So understanding how to wield no and how to shed off negativity and pessimism that's around you, that all is in that first scale of 0 to 1. And 0 to 1 is all about you. You have to master your spirit and your comfort level with the mission of starting this business. So now I'll transition into scaling from 1 to 2. 1 to 2 is you hiring your first employee. So in my case, my business did start off with just me. I was an independent contractor. I had no employees. I generated revenue, but at some point I had to set up my own shop, hang a shingle with my name on it, with my brand's name on it, and I honestly rebrand the initial business that was me and rebrand it as Smile Studio Orthodontics. The scale from 1 to 2 is you convincing your first employees what the mission and your passions are. So this is important. You've already, in the first scale of 0 to 1, already defined where you will be going, what this business will be about. 1 to 2, now you have to put some meat on the bones. You've only had a skeleton from 0 to 1. 1 to 2, there's putting meat on the bones of infusing the culture that you want, establishing what your philosophy will be, your mission statement will be, your market, and really getting in the trenches of understanding the market and your client. What I have noticed was what I thought was my clientele was actually a lot smaller group. And I had to become a lot more finite with who I was marketing to, who I ultimately expected to be able to offer my services to. So for instance, in my case, I'm an orthodontist. As an orthodontist, I didn't study black teeth, I studied teeth. So in my mind, all of Atlanta should be racing down to South Fulton and lining up to get braces. And that's not the case. I had to find the correct age, the correct market that can afford the services, that need the services. All these things had to be intentionally accounted for. Again, in the scale of 1 to 2, you're selling it to your clients, your clientele, or whatever market you're in. But the exercise of explaining this business and establishing what it's about and the mission, explaining that to your first employee is your first project. It's your first client, right? You've convinced yourself, but your first client needs to be as passionate, which is your first employee, needs to be as passionate as you are about your business for it to work. It needs to be consistent storyline, consistent spirit, consistent energy for your actual paying clientele or customer. Because at that point, the passion and the energy and it being consistent throughout your business, your clientele will be more apt to taking your services and paying for your services and telling someone else about it. So the beauty of this stage also is the agility of a small business. And that's something else the book 0 to 1 talked about. I think a lot of folks, because their business doesn't start off as $1 million business or $1 billion business, they lose heart and think that they're not successful. The book actually stresses the fact that small businesses are the secret weapon. The bigger businesses, for them to put an item on sale, for them to change the packaging, for them to make changes in personnel, it's a lot harder. They have to go through a board. They might have a union. As a small business, you're agile. You can cut your prices to 50% today. You can liquidate all your services or wares that are on the shelves. You're just agile. And to me, that kind of puts that David and Goliath analogy to the test. You know, Google and Apple may seem like they are $1 billion businesses, but there's also complexity in the hierarchy of bureaucracy to change things. As a small business, you're agile and you can make the adjustments on the run. Forgive me, I have some notes here, so I'm just making sure I'm covering everything that I have written down. So another thing with regard to your values in this period of time from 1 to 2 are super important. You can start to get distracted by trying to offer your service to everything. Again, identifying your market to the most finite point is the goal. As I said, everybody can't drive from in Atlanta to my office, but understanding my community makes my business more successful. So an example I would give, we talked about Chick-fil-A earlier. Chick-fil-A serves some great diet lemonade with light ice. I think the best in the city. They serve great chicken sandwiches, but they're closed on Sunday. Regardless of what money that can be made, they've infused that mission, that spirit, that consistency, that order priority that prevents you from getting your chicken sandwich on Sunday. But you're respected. They offer good product. They have great staff. And we continue to go back. No one doesn't go to Chick-fil-A because they were inconvenienced after church trying to get a chicken sandwich. But we know what their product is and that it's a quality product that we all love. The other thing that is important during the scale of 1 to 2 is your comfort level with fear and failure. I think that's another big thing for people that they are averse to failure. I look at failure as just learning. It's an opportunity. I think failure is the best sandpaper. Someone you can read in a book, hey, don't make this misstep in business, or you should be doing this amount of money. I think failure is the best way. Failure is just it's the work in progress. It's the guardrails, and it just refines you so much faster than, to me, book knowledge or whatever someone else's experience has been, because your experience is going to be unique to you. There are some things you can learn from other people. There are some other experiences that may be helpful that you could pull from to help formulate where you see your business going. But failure is, I anticipate it. I look forward to it, because it's getting you're forced to solve problems when you fail. Now, you should, of course, put your best into everything and have a good product and have good personality and consistency. But failure often are things that they're not on your radar, things that you don't see, problems that you didn't realize you had to solve. Especially going into a business, you think that the product is the whole business. It's the culture, it's marketing, it's personnel, it's accounting, it's so many different hats that you're having to get used to wearing and understanding. And you have to have the willingness to do all those jobs in that scale of 1 to 2. So you need to be knowledgeable enough, passionate enough, energetic enough to scale from 1 to 2, where you're just basically infusing all your spirit into that business. So super important that you don't run from fear. Otherwise, you're more likely to just kind of emulate or duplicate the next similar business to yours. So again, digressing to the N word, the scale from 1 to 2, I'll say from 1 to 2, the N word that I'll use with that is now. So you're immersing yourself in the moment. You can't be distracted. Again, 0 to 1 was just inception, just the willpower to make that first step and the confidence to make that first step. The second scale of 1 to 2 is selling to your first employee, because that's essentially what you're selling to your first clients. And you need to be immersed in the moment. So the N word that's applicable to scaling 1 to 2 is now. You have to be immersed in the moment. The next scale, let me make sure I covered everything from my 1 to 2. We went through failure. One other thing that you can notice, this last bit for scale of 1 to 2, you may recognize another business within the original business that you established. And I'll digress on that in my experience with this. But as you're studying your market, as you're understanding the distribution of your service or product, you may recognize that, one, there may be another business present in your initial business, or maybe that your initial business isn't the way to get the product or service distributed to your niche clientele. So that covers 1 to 2. My last scale will be from 2 to beyond. As far as that 2 to beyond, at this point, you have a business that has a culture, that has a mission statement, that has traction with a market. At this point, in my mind, you're walking next to a business that already that is like an emblem of its of what your passion was. So you now can duplicate that business or grow it in such a way that you don't have to be present. So you have to do that in order. If you just jump in a business, hire a bunch of smart people, and you haven't established what your culture, your business, and truly identified your community and niche market, now you have too many chiefs and not enough Indians, for lack of better words. I don't know if that's politically sensitive right now, but we should do this in order. So when you're making that last scale to where, okay, I can duplicate this model in different markets, that's after you've refined, you've failed, you've poured all your passion into it, you've got the right people with you, you understand your product, you understand your market better, you've maximized technology, because technology can definitely help you leap in your ability to deliver products and services. So you've maximized all those options, and now the only way that the market and the public are demanding you to make your business, your service, your product bigger and more available. Oh, I may be getting close to the end here. Anywho, at that point, you're ready to scale from 2 to beyond. I think I might be coming close to the end here. Forgive me. Let me close this. Can someone confirm if I'm still on? Let's see. Exit.
us completely out.
Okay. All right. No worries.
Everybody.
I got you. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. All I was going to do at the end, I was going to tie it in, like, what